Look at these comic books. These are 3 copies of Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man, published in 1962. Can you spot the differences? All were sold in the same auction, and each realized vastly different prices. Why? In collecting, it's all about condition.
They were ranged from 6.5 on a scale of 1 to 10 to 8.5, which that's not that big a difference. The 6.5 sold for about $20,000. The 8.5 sold for $104,000. The 8.0 went for $52,000 versus $104 for the other one.
Fading, creases, folded corners. These are things all collectors look for, and the less they see, the more they're willing to pay. And it's not only comics. The Federalist is a collection of 85 essays advocating the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. It was published shortly after the Declaration of Independence was signed.
A little over a year ago, we sold a copy of Hamilton, Madison, and Jay's The Federalist, first edition, 1788. It was volume 2 only, and we've sold volume 2 only before for $60,000 to $70,000. And this copy in particular, because of its condition, only sold for a little over $11,000.
Condition makes a big impact. People don't want to buy something that they then have to pay extra money to repair. They want something that is wearable on the spot.
The importance of grading is it's critical, it's crucial. Just as if you were going to buy a used car. You want to know what condition it's in before you get it. You hire a third party, you hire a mechanic to look it over. The same thing holds true with collectibles. And several companies have more than sprung up to give that independent appraisal and evaluation.
And that allows, it makes it very easy to be able to do transactions not in person. So with the boom of the internet and sites like eBay and our auction venue, people are able to see with the third-party grading if they've authenticated it and what the grade is, and it's able to make the transaction a lot easier.
You might grade a restaurant on a scale of 1 to 10. We do the same thing with coins and currency and baseball cards and various other collectibles. However, in collectibles, we delineate that scale sometimes on a scale of 1 to 70. Or in cars, I believe they even use a scale of 1 to 100. So we really have some thin margins on grade. Grading is critical, especially with collectibles, because value hinges on grade.
Grading is most useful in an environment of comparison when multiple copies exist. Comics, baseball cards, coins. Typically, a higher grade will give you a higher demand and a higher price. In some cases, condition is not an issue, and that usually happens with one-of-a-kind items.
Condition's always an issue when you're talking about collectibles, always has been and probably always will be, and people are always striving to have the finest example or condition example. Except when you're talking about something that's so unique or rare that it's the only known example.
If you're talking about a signed item where there's very few examples, for example, Christy Mathewson signed baseball, or something that's very unique, condition plays less of a factor in those, and it's the uniqueness and rarity that really help the value out on those.
When it comes to collectibles, there are simple steps you can take to reduce risk of damage and deterioration.
In order to keep books in as good a condition as possible, first of all, you need to store them in a room with low light, mild temperatures, and mild humidity. 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 50% relative humidity, a cool, dry, stable environment is usually the best for books. It's actually best to keep books in the dark, but most people don't do that and shouldn't because they don't get read that way.
Sometimes how an item is stored all boils down to luck.
There's a great example of a 51 Yankees team signed baseball that came out. We were contacted by the owner, and they just wanted to know, what the value was and how it would perform at auction. Well, once we got images of the ball and saw it in person, it just looked absolutely pristine. And I asked him how they had kept the ball for all those years, and she just said, well, I just pulled it. My father had it in a drawer, and I pulled it. It was in a sock, and it was in a drawer for over, 30, 40 years. So, that was just dumb luck that they happened, but, they happened to do everything right.
Email us at shop@ha.com for a free evaluation, or visit us online at ha.com.